Hey everyone, Bob here. Our lesson for today is about um, planning skills. How we're gonna plan our business. So in order for us to do that, we're gonna be having an example here, the poultry production business plan that we're going to do. Okay. So the idea here is for us to start a business raising poultry or livestock. Okay, the broiler chicken. Okay, the broiler chicken is the chicken that we have in as our food. Okay, we have it in the supermarket. We have broiler chicken in the food center or restaurants or hotels. These are the chickens that we eat, and we're going to grow these birds. And our target for growing the birds is 2.5 million birds. Okay, in 1 year. Okay, in order for us to do this, we're going to have some assumptions here, some basic assumptions. We're going to have target production capacity. We're going to have target liability weight. We're going to have the DOC or day old chick requirement. Okay, then we're going to have feed requirements, and we need contract growers. We need business partner for to grow the broiler chicken, or we can have our own company owned um, contract growing. Yeah, I mean growing the chicken. We're gonna have our own houses in the farm, but most of the broiler chicken production is grown by partner, business partner. We are paying contract growers to grow our chicken. Okay, we just supply everything like the day old chicks. We supply the day old chicks. We supply the feeds. We supply the vitamins, minerals, vaccine, and many other materials. Okay, and they're growing it, and we're paying the contract growers. We're paying the contract growers for every bird that they grow. Okay, it could be 45 days, it could be 42 days growing of the bird, and how many crops that we're gonna have in 1 year. So we're gonna do that, and then we're going to calculate our cost to produce. Our cost to produce, we need. Okay, this is actually for your convenience. We have already prepared all these parameters. Okay, what we're going to do next is just making the calculations to come up with our profit, our net income, our gross revenue. Okay, so we're gonna part of this. The parameter is the cost to produce. We call it cost of goods sold or the COGS. Okay, to produce chicken, you need total. You need the old chicks. You need to pay the contract growers. You need feeds. Okay, you need to process the chicken. They call it a poultry processing plant. Okay, we need to calculate the cost. Okay, this is what they call dressing of the chicken. Okay, when you're talking about a person, when you dress a person, you're putting on clothes like shirt, skirt, or pants. But when you're dressing the chicken, you're removing the feathers. Okay, it's the opposite with the human being. You're removing the feathers. You're cutting off feet. You're cutting off head of the chicken, removing all the internal organs in the chicken, and you come up with what they call the whole chicken, which we're going to sell to the market, to the supermarket, to the hotel, restaurant, and public markets. Okay, this whole chicken, whether it could be a frozen chicken or stone hard chicken, okay, or it could be in like a fresh chicken, okay, chilled chicken, chilled in a chilling temperature of positive 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is then we're going to get the total of our COGS, total cost of goods sold. Then we're gonna get the processed whole chicken average weight and total weight of processed whole chicken, and how much is the price per kilogram of the chicken that we're going to sell to the market. And then there is also the cost of distribution and logistics. Distribution is we need a fleet of trucks or reefer van or refrigerated van that we're going to utilize for the distribution to the depot or to the direct to the customers, to the supermarket, hotels, restaurant, um, public markets, okay, fast food centers, okay. And we also need warehouses, cold storage for our logistics, all right? Okay, I'm gonna calculate all this, including the selling, marketing cost, and then we get a total DNL or distribution, logistics, and selling cost. Then we'll be able to get the revenue from sales, the gross revenue, and net profit. This is the plan that we're going to have in order for us to start our business of raising livestock. Okay. First thing first, I'm gonna discuss about the assumptions. Okay. Initially, let's say we're gonna start the business by having 10 houses. Okay, one house, second. Okay, we're gonna get okay. We're gonna start with 10 houses. It could be company owned, or you own it, or somebody else own it, and you're just paying the what you call business partner to grow your chicken. Okay. So the next thing that we're gonna put here is the days to grow. Okay. Usually, especially in the West, in the North America and the Europe, which are which really cold area, low temperature area, and low relative humidity. So they are growing the chickens up to 40 to 42 days. Okay. Oh, that would be 6 weeks growing of chicken. But okay, my assumption here is that we're gonna grow it in the Philippines and grow it in India. So uh, which are the place which is having a hot temperature, maybe 30, 32, 35 degrees Celsius, especially during the sweltering heat of summer, and having high humidity, 90-95% humidity. Okay, it could even be higher humidity, especially during summertime. Okay, or during dry season. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 45 days uh, growing period of the broiler chicken up to for 10 houses. Okay, and then flock per house. Okay, the house that we're gonna have is, let's just say our assumption would be 18 meters by 182 meters. The size of the farmhouse, that would be equivalent to 3276 square meter. Okay, and usually that kind of size, the size of a house is usually can store um, or can be occupied by around 40,000 to 60,000 birds. Okay, so I'll go in the middle. Okay, I'll get the average of 50,000. Okay, when you're talking about 50,000, okay, when you're talking about 50,000 birds, that would be 50,000, you divide by 3276 square meter, that would be 15 birds, okay, in 1 square meter. Okay, you can grow 15 birds, can be occupied by broiler chicken, 15 birds per square meter. Okay, so that's why we're having 50,000. Okay, I'm not going to the right yet. Okay, I'm going all the way down. So the crop per year, how many crops or harvest that you're going to do in 1 year? So usually what in the West, they're doing it 6 to 8 or 5 to 8 uh, or 5 to 9. Sometimes they do it 5 to 9 crops per year. So maybe my assumption would just be 5. So I'm gonna harvest or I'm gonna crop 5 times in 1 year. So how much is that? Total of that? That would be around 250,000. Okay, 250,000 in 1 year for one house. Okay, just say house number one. Okay, okay. When you are raising livestock, there is always what you call mortality rate. Okay, birds, whether you like it or not, can will be dead. Okay, could be because of the stress, could be something else. Sickness, too high temperature. You're not able to to control the temperature of the house. Not well ventilated. It's an open, but the that would be natural ventilation. But when you close the house, you want to control the house with what you call HVAC, heating, ventilating, air conditioning. You could also do that. That will also, but that will add to your cost because it will consume electricity, and the motors that is going to run your HVAC is higher in terms of the horsepower. So you are consuming more wattage of the electricity. Therefore, that will convert to more cost, okay, in terms of money. So you have to take care of your house, and your farm location should be critical, you know. So you have to look at business partner who is having a nice place where where there is always wind moving around, and it could be a state of the art house where it is enclosed and having a heating, ventilating, air conditioning system, or a modern ventilators. Okay, so maybe the roof of the house is insulated, so to when the sun is up, at high 12 high noon, the sun is the sun is very hot. So what the some other farm owners do is they just insulate, or sometimes they install sprinkler on top of the roofs to cool down the because the most of the time these farm owners are using metal sheet as their roofs. So when there is a sun above the house, the temperature will go up, and this will also contribute to the mortality rate of the broiler chicken. So okay, let's say actually the mortality rate is between 1.82% to 3%. So I'm just going to use 3%. Okay, I want to be on the highest mortality rate. But some farms are really having good location, having good uh, temperature control system. Then the mortality rate is really low. Okay, so we're going to convert that to count. So I'm just going to multiply 250,000, the total volume of birds to grow in that one house, multiply by the mortality rate of 3%, and that would be 7,500. So for every 50 for every 250,000 that is going to be grown in one house, you're going to have a 7,500 dead broiler chicken. Okay, you cannot avoid that. Sometimes you can minimize it, but nevertheless, you always have a mortality count in your farms. So you have to consider that also in your planning the business. All right. So okay, so we're going to have the net, okay, live birds or liability, or I have to do is just um 250,000 minus the mortality count of 7,500. That would be okay. That would be the 240,500 birds that's going to be crafted. When you're harvesting the birds, and the birds will go to the poultry processing plant or dressing of the plant. Okay, that would be the night, rather the net live birds that we're going to to howl or to move from the farmhouse to the dressing plant. Okay. Usually, the average live weight kilogram is around maximum 2.8. kilogram. That's the biggest, the biggest size of the birds that is grown, especially in the western region, in western area, like the North America and Europe. They have bigger birds, bigger broiler chicken. But in our case, we're just going to consider 2 kilograms. Okay. So how much then would be our total net weight per house? So our total net weight per house should be like the liability multiplied by the 2 kilogram. Okay, that would be 485,000 kilogram. Okay, our net output or production yield. Okay, from the farmhouse. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna calculate. Okay, I rather get the our requirement here is day old chicks. Okay, DOC requirement. Okay, we need DOC to grow, to place in the house and grow for the grow contract grower business partner to grow. Okay, so the price of DOC, let's say where you're buying it from the market, usually the price is 20 rupees or pesos. Okay, the rupees and pesos is rupees and pesos. Okay, is not too much difference. Okay, just point something cents. Okay, the difference. So and also the conditions are almost the same. The temperature, the humidity, and the systems that they have of the raising broiler chicken is almost the same. Okay, so total DOC cost. Okay, just for a waiver. Okay, when you do your own planning, don't get my figures. Okay, could be not the right figures or not be accurate figures. Okay, this is I'm just doing it for the sake of, for the purpose of planning the business. Or you could have different figures or different, like for example, the olds could have 30 rupees, 25 rupees, or even cheaper. Let's say 15 rupees, 18 rupees. So, okay, whatever you have in actual, you use that. Okay, you just copy the system that I'm doing here in terms of my planning, the business. Okay, but in terms of the figures, you find your own figure, the right one, the right figures. All right. So let's say, so the total DOC cost then would be, okay, we're not gonna get the net, okay, for our DOC because we're planning for a 250,000. This is the figure that we're gonna get. Okay. Okay. So before some of the birds die during the care of the contract grower. Okay, there will be 250,000 that we plan. Our inputs. So therefore, 250,000 DUC that we're gonna buy. Okay, multiply the price per DUC, but it would be cheaper if we own our own hatchery. Our own hatchery plant, right? We own our own like the incubator. The James Way incubator, something like that. So the old chick cost could be lower, especially if you have a good system, you have very efficient and effective people working running the hatchery plant, then the cost could be lower than the 5 million that I have inputted here. Okay, so now let's go to the feeds requirement. The feeds requirement, there are 3 kinds of feeds that we're going to feed the broiler chicken. We're going to start with the feed starter feed. Okay, then a certain age where will go to grower feeds, and then the last would be the finisher feeds. Okay, sometimes they do a pre-starter feeds. Okay, but in my case, I'll just make I'm going to make it simpler. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna put the kilogram, the feed starter average consumption per bird. Okay, for a bird for the bird's entire life. Okay, 45 days or even less than 45 days harvest of crops. Okay, 1 kilogram consumption. Okay, 1 kilogram consumption of the feeds for the starter. And for the grower feed, that would be 1.5. That's average. Okay. Your feed conversion ratio, FCR, okay, that's one KPI, key performance indicator that you're going to monitor once you are running the business, once you're running the houses. Now, there should be one supervisor manning the house from your own team, you know, supervising the contract growers because you own everything. You own the DOC, you own the, when they grow it, you own the broiler chicken, you own, you supply them with the feeds, you supply them with the vaccine, vitamins, minerals, and water, etc. I think water is part of is owned by the contract grower, the water. They supply their own water, they supply their own electricity. Those are the overhead costs that they are having when they are running the houses. Okay, so 1.5 kilogram average for the grower, and 1.5 for the average consumption, kilogram consumption for the finisher feeds. So we have a total feed average consumption per bird of 4 kilogram. So I'm gonna sum that up. Okay. Okay, that would be 4 kilogram of total feeds consumption. Okay, as we said, our average live weight would be 2 kilogram. So, okay, that would be the weight of the fish that we're going to feed the broiler for 45 days. 2 kilograms. All right. All right, 2 kilograms. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the total feed requirement in kilogram. So what is the total? Uh, sorry. Okay, it should be here. All right. So we're gonna get, okay, we're gonna get the I would say 250,000 birds. Okay, multiply by 4. So the total feed requirement in kilogram would be 1,000, or rather 1 million kilograms of feeds that we require. It's either we're gonna produce it. We own our own feed mill plant. Okay, we produce mash feeds, we produce crumble feeds, or we produce pellet feeds. Okay, for the finisher. So the total of that is 1 million kilogram for the 200 50,000 birds that we're going to place in the house. Okay, remember we're just calculating one house here, and then we're going to copy this down to the right, to the up to the number 10 house. We're just doing calculations first on the first house. Then if we're going to calculate the bags, then that would be divided by 25 kilogram. In the past, health and safety regulations is allowing 50 kilogram during maybe 50 years ago, 40, 30, 25, 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, I don't know. So 50 kilogram, but that is a violation in terms of the health and safety of the warehouse handler, material handler, or the bag handlers, or the feeds handler. Okay, because 50 kilogram is too heavy to handle by a person. So 25 is even heavier. Uh, 20 is good enough for you to have for somebody to handle the feeds, carrying it, manual handling, or lifting of the bag. That's why in when you go to some supermarkets, when you want to buy a bag of rice, they don't have 50 kilogram now in the supermarket. Okay, they only sell 25 kilogram rice. Okay, because of the health and safety issue. All right. Okay, so uh, how much truckload do we need in 1 year for the 250,000 um, 250,000 gross bird that we're going to grow, but the the output, the production yield would be 242,000 because of the mortality uh, rate. Okay. So how many trucks we need in 1 year? Okay. Okay. So let's say the 10-wheelers trucks or straight truck will carry about 20 tons. Okay. Or 20 tons capacity of the truck. Okay. Or so it could be an open uh, trucks or flatbed trucks, or it could be a closed van trucks. Okay, but these trucks are not insulated because we're just loading, you know, we're just loading the feeds. Does not need temperature controlled trucks. So that means it's not a refrigerated truck. So that would be uh, uh, the 1 million kilogram. You just divide it by 20,000 kilogram to get the trucks. So it's about uh, 50 trucks in 1 year that you're going to utilize for the transfer of fish from the feed mill, outsourced feed mill or company owned feed mill plant. Okay. Warehouse of the plant. So that would be 50 trucks. Now for the total starter feed kilogram, I'm giving you this 50 trucks, by the way, is for you to be able to, if you don't own the trucks, then you don't have capital, to in buying trucks. Truck is quite expensive and also quite expensive to maintain the trucks, especially this is a 10-wheeler trucks. So you just, negotiate with a trucker or a third party, trucks, truck company or transport company. Okay. Now we're gonna get the total starter feed in terms of kilogram. This is easy. You just get the 1,000, then just multiply the uh, the feed starter average consumption of 1 kilogram divided by this total feed average consumption per bird, the total one. Then just enter. So for the total starter feed, this is quarter of the requirement, quarter of the 1,250,000 kilogram of total starter feed. These feeds, as I said, could be in mash feeds or it could be in crumble feeds. The crumble feeds, when they produce when they batch or they mix the feeds. Okay, this is usually in mass production because they already they ground the maize or the corn, they ground the soya, they ground everything else, all the grain cereals, they ground it. Okay, and important feed ingredients of feed is the grain, cereal, and the proteins, then vitamins and minerals. You know, so then it goes to the pellet machine to to make it a pellet feeds from mash to pellet feeds, maybe 3 millimeter size of the feeds or 4.5 millimeter size of feed the uh, the pellet feed. And then if you want to crumble it, it goes to machines where they crumble it, make it smaller portions, so that especially the the the, the starter and the grower is not having difficulty of picking or eating the feeds because it is in a smaller size, which is the crumble size. Okay, the most of the poultry business company, they don't utilize the mass feeds anymore. Why? Because it is ineffective, inefficient. Because some of the chicks are, trying to select, and what they do is the chick they're just eating the maize. The maize is yellow corn, so the yellow corn is like the bigger size of the mass. So they just pick it, and you know already that you don't need just the maize to grow the chicken. you need proteins as well. You need vitamins and minerals. So it all mixed in that mass production of feeds. So in order for the chick to swallow all the ingredients, the vitamins, minerals, proteins, etc., or the fats and oil, you have to, to produce it in a crumble or pellet portion of the feeds, not mass. Because in mass, the feeding system is inefficient. Okay, so your feeding system is inefficient. So that's why you're turning it into pellet. And for smaller chick, okay, you use crumble feeds. All right. So for the total starter feed kilogram would be 250,000 or 250 lakhs, as the Indian call it, 250 lakhs, or Filipinos would call it 250,000. So starter price per kilogram commercial. Okay, I have prepared another sheet for this. Okay, if you own your own feed mill, then your cost of your feeds would be, I think, would be a lot lower. Okay, uh, a lot smaller. Okay, compared with commercial. But what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna, I'm gonna use commercial. Let's say we just buy it from outside. We're going to outsource it. I have prepared here some, uh, you know, formulation of feeds: starter crumble feed, grower crumble feed, and finisher pellet feed. Okay, and okay, I have already. Okay, this is the formulations in terms of kilogram, and the ingredients is like maize or this yellow corn. In the US they call it yellow corn, but in some other countries they call it maize. The soybean meal is BM, corresponding, kilogram. Total kilogram would be 100. If you're going to batch it, you got your own uh, feed mill. Usually the batch mixture is 1,000 kilogram. So you have to have 1,000. You're going to mix 1,000 per batch for your mixer to be able to mix it. A 1,000 or 1 ton rated capacity of the batch mixer. Okay. So anyway, we're going to, to base it on commercial. I just said commercial. Okay, and this is coming from one cell, so I'm gonna utilize the F4, which is the $2 sign or the absolute cell reference. Okay, so that when we copy it here, it will copy the same amount or coming from the same cell area or cell location. So how much then is the total cost for the starter? So you have to multiply the 250,000, the volume of the total volume, the starter feed, multiplied by the amount, 36 pesos or rupees. And that would be 8. I'm saying this rupees, and because I have also some views, big views coming from India. Okay, some Indians are really actually watching my video. So thank you, Indians, for watching my video. So okay, I'm saying it for your own, you know, understanding as well. Okay, so total cost starter is 8 million, 8.9 million. Okay, for the starter. Now let's calculate the total, I mean the grower feeds. Okay, the grower feeds total would be just like the same process that we've done, and multiply it by but this time around it's 1.5 for the grower kilogram. Then you divide that by the total consumption per bird. That would be 375. Although the price of the, all right, okay, I don't know yet the price, so we're going to get the price yet before I forget. So we go to the sheet number 2. Okay, normally the price of the that's what I'm saying. The price of the starter is usually uh, more expensive than the grower and the finisher. Okay, because of the ingredients that they are putting. you know, more expensive. So 35 and again F4 for the absolute sale reference. So we're gonna have 35. Then the total cost would be 375,000 volume kilogram multiplied by the price. That would be. Oh, so this is what I'm saying. Although the price of the commercial price of the starter feed is 36, 1 rupee more expensive than the grower price of the grower feed price at 35. The amount is bigger because of the volume, 375,000, and for the starter is 250 lakhs, 250,000. So 13 million, 13.17 million. Okay, for the total grower. Okay, then the last thing that I'm gonna calculate is the finisher feeds. Okay, so the kilogram for this would be the 1 million kilogram. Okay, multiply by uh, finisher consumption, average consumption in kilogram per bird. Then divided by the total consumption for that would be 375. Okay, 375,000 kilogram of total. Okay, how much is the price of the per kilogram finisher? And that would be, I think, 33. Okay, it would be 33. A lot cheaper compared to starter feeds. Okay, again, F4, then enter. Okay, then the volume, 375,000 kilogram times the price per kilogram of 33, that would be 12,330,000. Okay, now let's go to the contract grower partner. Okay, 15, 20 years ago, okay, they're charging the contract grower charge or contract grower fee per bird was 2 pesos or 2 rupees in the past 15 years or 20 years. But I think it has gone doubled. Okay, so I'm gonna consider 4 rupees uh, contract grower fee per bird. Okay, per broiler chicken. So how much then is the total contract for grower feeds for the business partner? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get the gross. Okay, the gross would be 250,000 total birds to grow per house. But I'm not gonna pay 250,000 because there are mortality also. Okay, so I'm gonna get the net, which is 242,500. I'm gonna get this one. I'm only paying the contract grower business partner for the production yield, no, the production output, the actual birds that's coming out of the house. Okay, then multiply that by what, right? So multiply that by this fee, 4 rupees, and that would be 970,000, 970 lakh total contract grower fees. All right. Then total DOC cost. How much is that? We already calculated that. All you have to do is just transfer it from there to here. Because now we're gonna, calculate the cost to produce, CTP, cost to produce. How much we are, the cost to produce the bird per bird or the total bird that we're going to raise in the house. So we're going to get the total DOC cost, the total contract grower fees, the feeds total cost, and the processing of the dressing of the from the dressing plant, the poultry processing plant cost. We're going to do that later. But first thing, we're gonna get the total DOC cost or D old chicks. Where is that? I think we got it right here. Yeah, 5 million. Okay, we just move it here. We got 5 million total day-old chicks cost. The day-old chicks that we buy from the market. If we do not own our own hatchery plant, or we do not own our James Way incubator. Okay. And for the grower fees, we already done that calculation. We just move it from there to here. And the fees is, we're just going to add the starter. How much is starter feed? This one. Oh, that would be 8.9 million plus the grower feed of 13.17 million plus the finisher feeds of 12.33 million. That would be 34,480,000. See, when you are raising broilers, no, when you are doing poultry production business, usually the feeds is the biggest cost. Among the cost, usually the feeds around 60 to 75%, depending on your management in terms of your effectiveness and efficiency. That's why it's very important for you to do the KPI monitoring. All right. Then for the poultry, we don't have actual, you know, calculations. We don't have reference in terms of the cost, the dressing plant cost. This first time that we're going to do this. Maybe the following years, we do this business again next year and the following years and year after that. Then we have basis for our processing cost, poultry tray processing cost, or the dressing operation of the chicken, broiler chicken. So normally I just base it from the okay gross revenue multiply by 0.1 or 10%. Okay, we don't have a result yet because we don't have figures here in the gross revenue, but we're gonna have that later. Okay, just hang on for it. Okay, the processed whole chicken average weight would be 1 point. Some business they have 1.7, 1.8 kilogram, or even 2 kilogram. Okay, but I'll just going to the smallest bird of 1.5 kilogram. This is, we're talking about whole chicken after dressing the chicken. Okay, therefore the weight of processed whole chicken would be what would be the weight total total weight of processed whole chicken would be, I'm going to consider the net live that we're going to dress. This one, liability, all right? And when you are processing chicken, there are always, some wastage, some rejection because of in terms of quality, in terms of the size of birds, okay, in terms of the maybe damages on the wings, damages in the skin, too many hematomas, the skins getting black, that would be hematomas from the dried blood. So I'm gonna consider maybe 98% efficiency or production output. So 2% losses. Okay. Okay, due to damages to the, substandard of the chicken that we are dressing. Okay. So multiply by, what are we getting at? We're getting total weight processed chicken. Total weight. Okay. Total weight of processed chicken, whole chicken. We're not getting the price yet. Okay. Just this one, 98%. So the total weight of processed whole chicken would be 237,650. Then, okay, we're gonna get our price. Where did we? This is from the C15. C15 is what? Yeah, net live birds. This is the bird that we're going to dress. Okay, this still bird, and the one that we're going to calculate is weight. Okay, this is already in terms of kilogram. So we have to multiply is this by 1.5 because the first one C15 that would be the not weight but bird as per bird. That would be per bird. So 98% losses or rather production output, 2% losses rather. Multiply by the weight so that we'll be able to get the total weight of the bird. Okay. So that would be 356,475. Okay, let's say the price is okay. I'm just guessing it. Could be around 200. I went to the Google, okay, and they said the price per kilogram is these days is 200 rupees or 200. I don't know. I'm not sure about rupees, but the pesos 200 pesos. So okay, therefore we'll be able to get our revenue now. Remember, we don't have the poultry processing plant cost yet because we don't have revenue, gross revenue. So we're going to compute or rather calculate our revenue. It should be the 350, the volume of the processed whole chicken multiplied by the price, how much price? And that would be 71.295 million pesos or rupees. Okay? Okay. So we have now the poultry cost, 7.129 million. Okay? Cost. Because I said I considered 10% cost from the gross revenue because we don't have actual cost of the plant. We don't own the plant yet. Okay, when we pay if we're going to outsource it, maybe 10% of the okay, just an assumption. Okay, when you do your own planning, okay, actual planning, and then you try to canvas the amount if you're going to outsource it or you're going to do a feasibility study of a dressing plant or poultry processing plant, then you'll be able to determine the cost to produce in terms of the processing of the broiler chicken. For the distribution and logistics cost, we also don't have basis. Okay, but in my previous in my history, I was handling the distribution and logistics manager for a company here in the Philippines. When I joined the company, the cost was 6% of the gross revenue, 6%. But as the time goes by, I was able to reduce it to 2.7% because I rationalized the cold storage system, rationalize the distribution, the trucks, able to reduce the cost in terms of preventive maintenance of the trucks, etc., and reduce the amount of the inventory, you know, and also the logistics side, the warehouse operation. I was able to, to rationalize the uh, warehouse operations across the country. So, but I'm going to still base it on 6%. I will go to the highest one, 0.066%. Okay. So that would be 4.2 million, 4.277 million. Okay. And for the selling, marketing cost, this selling is you're talking about the salesman, sales supervisor, sales manager, maybe vice president of the sales, things like, and they have depots, they have also their own trucks of they own the trucks what you call reefer van, 6 wheelers, reefer van or 4 wheelers, 4 tons capacity to 6 tons capacity of refrigerated vans, with Thermo King attached with Thermo Kings, etc. And then also the marketing, they are advertising TV ads, print ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, etc. So they're spending millions of money, okay, in the advertisement. So I would say also 10% of the gross. Okay. You can correct this when you do your actual planning. What I'm giving you now, this is just for the purpose of for you to improve your planning skills when it comes to business planning. Okay. So let's just say 10%. Okay. So it would be the same as the dressing of 10%. Okay. Just for a starter, just for a start, so that you know how to do it. Okay, then we're gonna add this, some, the two, selling and distribution, D&L. Okay, already have the cost. We're gonna add this one also, sum it up from okay, our COGS, cost of goods sold is 47,579,500 plus the okay, D&L selling cost of 11 million. Okay, so we're going to deduct that from the gross revenue. Gross revenue okay, minus COGS and minus selling cost. All right. So there you have it. This is our net profit for one house of, our farmhouse of uh, 250 million, 250,000 uh, output. Okay, from five crops with a flock numbers of 50,000 in one house. Okay, but the output that we're going to dress is 242,500 birds. So that's how you do it, right? You get your in one house, you get your profit. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to let's say let's just assume that house number 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10 are the same operation. Okay, the same operation. We just copy this. We just copy. That's why I put absolute sale reference on the prices, the 36 starter price, grower price 35, because we're gonna copy it to the right, and there will be no errors in our copy and paste. Okay, okay, up to here, up to 10, house number 10. Ay, sorry, I forgot. I enter it. It should be, okay, let's go back. It should be copy. Okay, I'm gonna do the copy first. Copy, or I can just drag it. Okay, to make it easier. And just drag it. How am I gonna drag it? It's not okay, it's not. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sorry about that. Okay, and just drag it to make it easier for me. Just drag it to the right. Okay. The last the last row is for the total, so I'm not including it. Okay, so we're going to make the total now. The total here. So 10 houses. Okay, don't have to total that. 45 days to grow. No need to total that. 50 crops. So how many? Some. Okay, that would be 500,000 total crops. Okay. So that would see, we say in the beginning that we're gonna grow 2.5 million, our target. So 2.5 million. That's okay. That's good. That's good. That's good, right? So 3% mortality. No need to do that. But this one we can actually do it. Okay. So right. This is a total mortality in 10 houses, 75,000. Also this one. Okay. What is this? This is the net live, the live birds after deducting the mortality. This is the size of the bird, no problem. This is 485. This is the total weight. Okay, just sum. Okay, and then this one is the price. No need to total that, but this one is okay. This is the 50 million what total DOC, the old chicks cost total million for the 10 houses. Okay, no need to total this. Okay, this is the 1 million. 1 million or 10 million for the 10 houses, total feed kilogram. Okay, the 40,000 is the bags, so total bags. Okay, we can also add this sum. All right, this 50 is what is this? This is the truckload. Okay, we can also sum this up. So 500 total truckload. The 250,000 is the total feed. Okay, total feed. Starter feed. And this is the price of the starter feed. And this is the cost of the starter feed. And this is the total volume of the grower feed, the price of grower feed. And this is the total cost of the grower feed, the volume of the finisher feeds, the price of the finisher feed, and the total cost of the finisher feed. Okay. And this four is this is the amount that we're paying for the bird grower fee, contract grower fee per bird. No need to sum that. But this one is the total volume of what? The total cost rather of contract grower fees. Okay. And then let's go to the next one. 5 million rather. What is this? Sum. 50 million. What is 50 million? DOC cost. The old chicks cost. And the next one would be, I'll just copy it. All right. So 9.7 million for the contract grower fees. 344 million for what? For the total feeds cost. And 71 million for what? For the dressing plant cost. Poultry processing cost. And this one will just copy. 475 million. What is this? This is the COGS. Yeah, COGS. We're going to have 475 million. We're going to spend rather. Then target kilogram for the whole chicken, the dressed chicken. And this one is this is the processing cost. This is the price per kilogram. No need to sum that up. Maybe this one is the selling cost, rather the distribution cost and the selling cost. And what is this? This is total selling cost and distribution cost, 114 million. And then for the gross revenue, this is the most exciting part of the planning, business plan. Business planning is you're getting the gross and the net profit. Okay. So let's say for the gross, okay, and for the okay, okay. So for the gross and the net profit is 712 million for the gross, 750, and the profit would be 123 million for the 10 houses that you're utilize for the growing of the chicken. So in 1 year, you're gonna earn 123 million for the 10 houses. All right. Okay, let's say okay for you for you just to have an idea of the FCR. I'm going to include the FCR here. FCR is this is what you call feed, not fed, or rather feed conversion ratio. Okay, feed conversion ratio. What is the feed conversion ratio? This is ratio is the the weight that you have consumed for your feeds. You divide by the total or rather the net weight of your chicken that you're harvesting or the total crops. Okay. I remember it was 1 million kilogram. Yes, 1 million. You divide by, okay, by what? You divide by one, I think the weight of the chicken. Okay. Are we going to base it on the net live weight, livability? Yes. Okay. Or this one, 250. Let's say on the livability. Wrong. It should be based from wrong. It should be the weight, not the livability. That is a wrong answer. So it should be what? This one. Total net weight per house in kilogram. Okay, this is already in terms of weight of the chicken. We're not getting the heads, the livability. We're getting the kilogram. Okay, so enter. Okay. Okay, ideally, you're gonna 1.3 to 1.7. Okay, ideally, FCR should be 1.3 to 1.7. That is a good FCR. Okay, FCR should be monitored during every month. You should do it every month or a weekly monitoring so that you know whether you are not wasting much of your feeds. Otherwise, your cost, remember the cost of the feeds from 60 to 75% of the total cost would be from feeds. Oh, that's 3/4 of your cost is from feeds. So that's why you have to make sure that you have managed the feeding system well so that you will not have a high FCR. So let's say, okay, let's say you have managed well. Okay, see the one, say you're able to consume just 800,000 instead of 1 million. Okay, see what happened to your conversion. It's only 1.65. Say you are within the standard, okay, of FCR. Okay, just, you know, I'm just saying you have to manage your feeding system well so that you will not consume too much feeds. Or handling also is one of the factor. Handling, okay, if there are many spillages, okay, your FCR will go up. If your handling or your feeding program is not good, or system, or you're wasting too much feeds, then your volume will go up, then your FCR will go up. Okay, let's get this back to 1 million. All right. So anyway, it's only uh, it's only planning. This is not actual. So forget about this. Okay, you'll do the FCR monitoring when you are already starting your operation or the farmhouse operation. Okay. Okay. The next thing we're going to get is the ROS. What would be the ROS of this? Return on sale. So what would be the rate? Okay. You divide the net profit by the gross. 17%. That's not bad. Okay. 17% return on sale is not bad. Cap it there. Okay. Maybe, okay. You still have to pay tax, right? You say, uh, let's just say net income. Ah, net income after tax. Let's say your tax is maybe income tax is 30%, or maybe 32%. Okay, let's just consider 32%. So your net profit, okay, minus, or rather times, multiply by 0.68%. Okay, because the deduction is 32%. So your profit is 68%. That would be 8,369,000 still you're gonna earn from the business. Okay. Let's see how much is that. It's gonna be. All right. So that would translate to 83,696,440 earnings, net earnings from the business. Not bad. Okay. If you have, what's important here is you have more money to buy the day old chicks. Okay. Remember, day old chicks is 50 million. If you're going to double the house, let's say 20 houses, then you need 100 million as your capital, huh, to buy the day old chicks. If you don't own the hatchery plant, okay. If you don't, okay. If you own the hatchery plant, then the thing that you're going to buy is the hatching eggs, okay, from breeder farm. So if you don't own the breeder farm, then you're gonna buy the hatching eggs. If you own that breeding farm, then you're not gonna buy the hatching eggs. What are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy the breeder, the breed. There are lots of breed like Cobb, yes, COBB, Cobb, Avian, Hybro. Those are the breeder uh, that you're going to buy. If if you if you own the breeder farm, you know, but you need more capital. So let's just say that you're just buying the day old chicks. Oh, you don't own the hatchery plant, and you don't buy the hatching eggs. Then you're gonna, if you want to make it double, 20 houses, then you're gonna need 100. Okay. And then what else you're gonna need for capital? Your feeds. You're gonna buy the feeds because you're gonna, supply the. I haven't considered, by the way, the other things like vaccine. I have not considered, but you have to, it's minimal, so no problem. So you're gonna supply the vaccine. Vitamins and minerals are already included in the uh, feed formulation, so you don't worry about the. But sometimes they, they also use actually most of the time they use antibiotics for the chicken, to for the farm to be able to minimize the mortality. They use antibiotic to so that the broiler chicken will stay away from sickness. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, this is to improve your planning skills and for you to be able to to plan your business when you think that the poultry business is a good business, then try doing this by doing this plan. Okay, okay, that's about it. Okay, that's all I get for you today in these lessons of planning skills and planning the 2022 poultry production business plan. All right, until next time, if you like this video, please don't forget uh, to subscribe and like and share. Okay, and don't forget to hit the notification bells. You'll be updated of my next upload. All right. Okay, thank you for watching.